the rich girl who pretended to be poor to find true love. Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Lagos, there lived a girl named Amina. Amina was the daughter of Alhaji Musa, one of the wealthiest men in Nigeria. Alhaji Musa had amassed his fortune through years of hard work and shrewd business dealings, and his wealth was apparent in every aspect of their lives. They lived in a sprawling mansion adorned with the finest decorations, had a fleet of luxury cars, and were waited on by a retinue of servants. Despite her affluent upbringing, Amina was a kind and humble girl. She had been taught to value people for who they were rather than what they had. Her mother, who had passed away when Amina was just a child, had always instilled in her the importance of humility and kindness. Amina's life, however, was not without its challenges. Many of her so-called friends were more interested in her wealth than in her as a person. As Amina grew older, her father's wealth became both a blessing and a curse. She attended the best schools, wore the finest clothes, and had everything she could ever want, but she longed for genuine connections. She yearned for true friendship and love, untainted by her family's riches. One evening, as she sat by the window of her opulent bedroom, gazing out at the city lights, she made a decision. She would disguise herself as a poor girl to find true love, a love that saw her for who she truly was, not for her wealth or status. It was a bold and risky plan, but Amina was determined. The next morning, Amina confided in her trusted maid, Fatima. Fatima had been with the family for years and was more like a second mother to Amina. She listened carefully as Amina explained her plan. "Amina, this is a dangerous game you are playing," Fatima said, worry etched on her face. "But if you are truly determined, I will help you." Amina nodded, her resolve firm. Together, they devised a plan. Amina would take on the identity of AminatuThe, a poor girl from a rural village who had come to Lagos to find work. She would dress in simple, worn clothes and move into a modest apartment in a less affluent part of the city. Fatima would help her with the transformation, and Alhaji Musa would be informed of her plan, albeit reluctantly. It took a few weeks for everything to be arranged. Amina's luxurious wardrobe was replaced with plain, inexpensive clothes. Her hair, usually styled in the latest fashions, was now kept in a simple braid. Fatima helped her find a small, dingy apartment in the heart of the city, far from the opulence of her father's mansion. When the day finally came for her to leave, Alhaji Musa hugged her tightly. "My dear daughter, be careful," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "Remember, you can always come back home if things become too difficult." Amina reassured him and set off on her journey, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Life in her new neighborhood was a stark contrast to what Amina was used to. The streets were crowded and noisy, the buildings old and in need of repair. But Amina found a certain charm in the simplicity of it all. She quickly made friends with her neighbors, who knew her as AminatuThe, a young girl from the village trying to make a better life for herself. Amina found a job at a local market, working for a woman named Mama Bissi who sold fruits and vegetables. The work was hard, but Amina enjoyed the sense of independence it gave her. She learned to haggle with customers, carry heavy crates, and navigate the bustling market. One day, as she was arranging some tomatoes, a young man approached her stall. He was tall and handsome, with a warm smile that reached his eyes. "Hello, my name is Tunde," he said, extending his hand. "I couldn't help but notice you. You seem new around here." Amina smiled and shook his hand. "I'm AminatuThe. Yes, I just moved here recently." Tunde and Amina struck up a conversation, and Amina found herself drawn to his genuine kindness and sense of humor. Unlike many of the people she had met before, Tunde seemed to care about her as a person, not as a means to an end. They began to see each other more often, meeting for lunch or walking home together after work. As weeks turned into months, Amina and Tunde's friendship blossomed. They spent their evenings talking about their hopes and dreams, their fears and their pasts. Amina was careful not to reveal her true identity, but she found herself sharing more and more with Tunde. She discovered that he was an aspiring musician, working odd jobs to support himself while he pursued his passion. One evening, as they sat on a bench overlooking the city, Tunde turned to her. "Aminatu, there's something I've been wanting to tell you," he said, his voice hesitant. Amina's heart raced. Was he going to confess his feelings for her? She had grown to care for Tunde deeply, but she was also terrified of what would happen if he discovered her true identity. "Go ahead, Tunde," she said softly. Tunde took a deep breath. "I think I'm falling in love with you, Aminatu. You're the most genuine, kind-hearted person I've ever met. I don't care about your past or where you come from. I just want to be with you." Amina's heart soared, but she also felt a pang of guilt. How could she continue this charade when Tunde had been so honest with her? She knew she had to tell him the truth, but she was afraid of losing him. "Tunde, there's something you need to know," she began, her voice trembling. "I'm not who you think I am." Tunde looked at her, confusion and concern etched on his face. "What do you mean, Aminatu?" Amina took a deep breath and told him everything. She told him about her real name, her wealthy background, and her decision to disguise herself to find true love. She watched as Tunde's expression changed from confusion to shock, and then to something she couldn't quite read. When she finished, there was a long silence. Amina's heart pounded as she waited for Tunde to say something, anything. Finally, Tunde spoke. "Amina, I'm not going to lie. This is a lot to take in. But I understand why you did it. You wanted to find someone who loved you for you, not for your money. And I can honestly say that I love you, Amina. Not because of your wealth, but because of who you are." Tears filled Amina's eyes as she embraced Tunde. "Thank you, Tunde. I was so afraid of losing you." Tunde held her tightly. "You won't lose me, Amina. We'll figure this out together." With her secret out in the open, Amina felt a weight lifted off her shoulders. She introduced Tunde to her father, who was initially skeptical but soon warmed to the young man. Tunde's sincerity and genuine love for Amina won Alhaji Musa over, and he gave them his blessing. However, not everyone was pleased with their relationship. Some of Amina's old friends and acquaintances were quick to judge, gossiping about Tunde's humble background and questioning his intentions. But Amina and Tunde stood firm, their love stronger than ever. Despite the challenges, they supported each other. Amina helped Tunde with his music career, using her connections to get him opportunities he would have never had otherwise. And Tunde taught Amina the value of simplicity and hard work, reminding her of the important things in life. As Tunde's music career began to take off, they faced new challenges. The pressures of fame and the scrutiny of the public eye tested their relationship. But through it all, they remained true to each other, their love growing stronger with each passing day. One day, Tunde received an offer to perform at a major music festival in London. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but it also meant being away from Amina for several months. They discussed it at length, and Amina encouraged him to follow his dreams, even if it meant being apart for a while. As Tunde prepared to leave, Amina faced her own challenges. Running her father's business in his absence was no easy task, and the pressure began to take its toll. She missed Tunde terribly, but she knew that supporting each other's dreams was part of loving each other. One evening, as she was working late at the office, Amina received a call from Tunde. His voice was filled with excitement. "Amina, I have some amazing news. I've been offered a record deal with a major label. They want to sign me." Amina's heart swelled with pride. "Tunde, that's incredible. I'm so happy for you. But there's a catch," Tunde continued, his voice turning serious. "The label wants me to move to London permanently. They think it will be better for my career." Amina felt a pang of fear. She didn't want to hold Tunde back, but the thought of being apart for so long was unbearable. "What do you want to do, Tunde?" "I don't know," he admitted. "I love you, Amina, and I don't want to lose you. But this is my dream, and I've worked so hard to get here." Amina took a deep breath, fighting back tears. Tunde, you have to follow your dreams. We can make this work. We'll find a way. The months that followed were some of the most challenging of Amina's life. She threw herself into her work, trying to distract herself from the ache of missing Tunde. They spoke every day, sharing their triumphs and struggles, but the distance took its toll. One evening, as Amina was preparing for bed, she received a call from Tunde. His voice was strained, and she could tell something was wrong. "Amina, I need to tell you something," he began. "There's been a lot of pressure from the label. They're insisting that I stay here in London permanently. They don't think a long-distance relationship is good for my image." Amina felt her heart break. "What are you saying, Tunde?" "I don't know what to do," he admitted, his voice filled with anguish. "I love you, but I also love my music. I can't give up on my dreams, but I can't bear the thought of losing you." Amina closed her eyes, tears streaming down her face. "I love you too, Tunde. But maybe it's time for us to take a break, to figure out what we really want." The silence on the other end of the line was deafening. Finally, Tunde spoke, his voice barely a whisper. "Maybe you're right. I don't want to hurt you, Amina. Maybe some time apart will help us see things more clearly." They ended the call, both of them in tears. Amina felt like her heart had been ripped out, but she knew it was the right decision. They needed to find their own paths, even if it meant being apart. In the months that followed, Amina focused on her work, finding solace in the challenges and triumphs of running her father's business. She threw herself into charity work, helping to improve the lives of those in her community. It was during one of these charity events that she met someone who would change her life forever. His name was Emeka, and he was a doctor who had dedicated his life to helping the less fortunate. They met at a fundraising gala, and Amina was immediately struck by his passion and dedication. They began to spend more time together, working on various projects and getting to know each other. Emeka was different from anyone Amina had ever met. He was kind, selfless, and completely uninterested in her wealth. He saw her for who she was, not for what she had. Slowly, Amina began to open her heart to him, finding comfort in his presence. One evening, as they were working late at the clinic, Emeka turned to her. "Amina, there's something I've been meaning to tell you," he began, his voice hesitant. Amina looked at him, her heart pounding. "What is it, Emeka?" "I think I'm falling in love with you," he admitted, his eyes searching hers. "But I don't want to rush you. I know you've been through a lot." Amina felt a rush of emotions. She cared for Emeka deeply, but she was still healing from her breakup with Tunde. She took a deep breath, trying to find the right words. "Emeka, I care about you too," she said softly. "But I need more time. I'm still healing." Emeka nodded, his expression understanding. "Take all the time you need, Amina. I'll be here for you, no matter what." As time passed, Amina and Emeka grew closer. They supported each other through their challenges, finding strength in their shared goals and values. Amina realized that she had found something special with Emeka, a love built on mutual respect and understanding. One day, as they were walking through a park, Emeka stopped and turned to her. "Amina, I know you're still healing, but I want you to know that I'm serious about us. I want to build a future with you." Amina looked into his eyes, feeling a sense of peace she hadn't felt in a long time. "Emeka, I feel the same way. I think I'm ready to move forward with you." Their relationship blossomed, and they supported each other through every challenge and triumph. Amina's business continued to thrive, and she found fulfillment in her charity work. Emeka's clinic grew, helping countless people in need. One evening, as they were sitting on a bench overlooking the city, Emeka took her hand. "Amina, there's something I need to ask you," he said, his voice filled with emotion. Amina's heart raced as she looked at him. "What is it, Emeka?" Emeka got down on one knee, pulling out a small velvet box. "Amina, will you marry me?" Tears filled Amina's eyes as she nodded, her heart bursting with joy. "Yes, Emeka, I will." Amina and Emeka's wedding was a beautiful celebration of their love and commitment to each other. It was a simple affair, attended by close friends and family. Amina wore a simple white dress, and Emeka looked dashing in a traditional Nigerian agbada. As they exchanged vows, Amina felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. She had found true love, not in the riches of her father's mansion, but in the heart of a kind and selfless man. Emeka had shown her that true love was about understanding, respect, and shared values. Their life together was filled with joy and challenges. They supported each other through every trial, their love growing stronger with each passing day. Amina continued to run her father's business, finding fulfillment in her work and her charity efforts. Emeka's clinic thrived, helping countless people in need. One day, as they were sitting on their porch, watching the sunset, Emeka turned to Amina. "Do you ever regret your decision to disguise yourself as a poor girl?" he asked, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. Amina shook her head, her heart filled with gratitude. "No, Emeka, it was the best decision I ever made. It led me to you." Emeka smiled, taking her hand in his. "I'm glad you took that risk, Amina. It brought us together." As they sat there, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Amina knew that she had found her true love. It was a love built on mutual respect, understanding, and shared dreams. And she knew that no matter what challenges they faced, they would always face them together. In the end, Amina realized that true love was not about wealth or status. It was about finding someone who loved you for who you were, who supported your dreams and stood by you through every trial. And in Emeka, she had found that love, a love that would last a lifetime.
Thanks for watching. For more content, subscribe to our channel, like, share, and comment on this video.